Why go to a break? Look at this guy. He is Johnny on the spot. Looks like he's ready to go already. Eric Pace joining us. Principal Pace. That sounds good. I like the sound of that. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
So, congratulations in your role as the new principal at West Bloomfield High School. And wow, do you start this job at a challenging time?
Yeah, it's unprecedented and unique to say the least, but it's what it is, and we've got a community of learners and a community at large that we need to lead and take care of. So I'm happy to do it.
So before we get into any other business, I don't know if you heard Chief Flynn there a minute ago, but he said if you have any touchless thermometers that the fire department could borrow from you for a little while, he would really appreciate it. So I don't know if you can check on that or not, but just wanted to relay
Yeah,
the
we
word.
don't. Unfortunately, we don't have any touchless thermometers, but we have been looking through our supply of gloves and seeing if there's anything in terms of masks within our science labs. I don't think we have masks, but we are looking through our supply of gloves.
You know, and that's what everyone's doing in the community, seeing how they can help each other out. You've seen nationally the anesthesiologists, maybe their machines could work as respirators, and where everyone's trying to help everybody out. So I know the spirit of goodwill and help is right there, and we appreciate it, Eric. So, we've talked to Dr. Hill. We talked to a teacher yesterday. How's it going with the students right now?
It's going pretty good. We were fortunate to be have a little bit of foresight in this and start planning a couple weeks ago. We had a learning design team meeting on the Wednesday before the school closure, where we started to see the tea leaves coming together and decided to make a planning session for our teachers on Friday the 13th, of course, where we spent the day looking at what online learning may look like and allowing our students and our teachers opportunities to have cohesive messaging, planning, and then we were able to get things together for the 2 weeks leading up to spring break.
So I heard in some other media reports today that the legislature is working on fixing this problem with accreditation of the learning that's happening online right now. And they're talking about a program that would at least provide accreditation to graduating seniors. And they're working on a program. So I know you know, but for the people listening, this whole situation is not falling on deaf ears in Lansing. And we're going to hear from the governor in a couple of minutes. Maybe we'll hear from her more on that. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that issue?
Yeah, so we in our community in West Bloomfield, I think we have the reputation around the state of being, and rightfully so, being an amazing community of individuals who are advocates and who want to make sure that we're taking care of everybody, from our students to our citizens, our senior citizens, everybody. And we echo that within the schools. So we want to make sure that students have access to high quality learning, even if they're not right in front of us. And what I think the state may not understand, but we're working to help them understand, is that what makes the online learning work isn't necessarily just access and having the content available, but it's the relationships with the people. So it's the 7 and 8 months that we've spent in school that's created this camaraderie that the fire chief had just talked about, of togetherness that helps us support each other. So we're seeing better attendance actually than we saw in person right before we went out. We're seeing high engagement, high quality work from our students, and we're actually in a planning session right now for how we're going to continue this after our spring break. We're advocating with the state and with the governor directly, and I agree with you. I think they're doing some things right now behind closed doors that will hopefully lead to our students getting credit and getting their time counted.
Eric Pace is the new principal of West Bloomfield High School, coming in at a challenging time. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe with us as well here in our Lakes FM studio. And Pat Watson, we should give a nod to him. I know I'm sure you're keeping in touch with him. Pat Watson, former principal, did a great job, is now the new superintendent of schools in Bloomfield Hills. You've been talking to Pat at all, Eric?
Yeah, we talk frequently. We try and make sure, we have neighboring school districts. So make sure we're in communication with one another. I know Dr. Hill, our superintendent's been in communication with him and other neighboring superintendents as well, just to make sure that we're not leaving any stone unturned. This is something that's never been done before, and there may not be a universal solution that's one right way, but there's probably a lot of things we can learn from each other on mistakes and speed bumps. So we're keeping in constant communication and making sure we're doing what's best for our students.
Yeah, and we can talk to Dr. Hill about this too, but any discussion or thought from the West Bloomfield School District side about how you would like to see the governor act with regard to opening the buildings? I mean, from where I look, and after what Chief Lynn just said, I can't imagine that that's even on anyone's radar right now, but I know there's people want to know, the discussion's out there, so we might as well chat about it.
Yeah, great question. Although I was a science teacher, I'm definitely not a scientist or a medical professional. So what we're doing is taking guidance from our governor and from the professionals out there on what's coming next. So the way we're doing it is we're planning today for the next month and making sure that we're best prepared with our teachers and students for a month upcoming. Now, we may not need all that planning, or maybe we do, and we just want to make sure we have everything set and ready to go. And then in a few more weeks, if need be, we'll plan for the following month. So just trying to stay a couple weeks ahead of those closures and make sure that we're best prepared, and then we'll take guidance from the governor.
All right. Well, we'll hear from her in a couple of minutes. Maybe she'll have some words on that subject today for the state of Michigan. We'll wait and see. Eric, I want to thank you also for the great job you and your 4 student ambassadors did at our recent State of the Communities broadcast at Abbott. There was no audience there, unfortunately, but they did a great job. A ton of people are watching it online. You did a great job. Students did a great job. I'm thinking we've heard from you, teachers, administration. The only thing we haven't heard from is students, so maybe we should connect with your ambassadors, see if we can get them zoomed up and get them on the air. But they did a great job, and it just in interacting with the students at West Bloomfield Schools through our football broadcasts and the other things we do, and then the ambassadors that we had out, I'm just impressed every time I'm around the students in our school district.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Dave. It's such a unique community, and one that I'm so proud to be a part of. And you're right, those students did such a good job. It never hurts when your students can go out there and help you look good. But yeah, I'm sure they'd be happy to come out and talk to you about their experiences with online learning.
All right, so just to reaffirm as we say goodbye, the West Bloomfield schools and our neighboring schools are feeding people. We've gotten computers out to people. We're doing online learning. We are the staffs are getting paid. Things seem to be running pretty well. The students are getting educated, and you guys just put all that together so quickly, and it all seems to be running really, really well. So good job, Eric Pace.
Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it. We put a lot of work in behind closed doors to make sure that we're providing something that's routine and normal for our students. There's nothing in the world right now that feels normal. So we want to make sure that we can provide that sense of stability for them.
All right. Anything you want to say as we say so long to any students, parents, people in the community? Any message for them at all?
Yeah, I just want to say that we appreciate you. We know that just like in my house, I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. My wife's a teacher, and we are working to educate our own children while we're handling this at home. And I know we probably have it easier than most. So, whatever you're doing, it is your best job, and we appreciate that. And we want to say thank you to those that are in the hospitals, in the healthcare profession, our first responders, police and fire and medics. It's you guys that are helping make this work for us. And I also don't want to forget our pharmacists and our grocery store workers that are helping supply for all of us.
All right, Eric. When we get a chance and things calm down, we'll talk a little bit more about your new role as principal at West Bloomfield High School. Important role in our community, and I know you're going to do a great job. Thank you very much for joining us on the MegaCast today.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, Eric Pace.